Good evening, everybody. David Paul here in the KHOU 11 Weather Center, and congratulations, Houston Bush Intercontinental Airport. You hit 101 today for a high temp. Didn't get to the record. That's 102 set on this day back in 1914, but it was close. College Station 98, Hobby 97, Galveston 94. So none of the other major reporting spots were really threatening 100 today. I guess College Station close 98. What happened at Bush across the northern portion of Harris County is that as we went into the early to mid-afternoon, for a little bit, the clouds, the high clouds we've had all day, kind of parted right over Bush Intercontinental Airport. And that allowed the temp to get off to the races and go up to 101. Also had a little bit of drier air in that part of Harris County as well. So that pushed us to 101 at Bush today. This is the second day so far this year that we've hit 100 this year. Normally we have our first 100-degree day on July 19th. The latest we ever hit 100 is September 27th, and a couple of years where we never hit 100, 2014 and 2021. One year that's off this list is 2011. If you remember 2011, if you were here for that, that was the tremendous drought year that we had. We were bone dry, and that dry air allowed us to go to 100 more than 40 times in that summer of 2011. So, it can be feast or famine with triple-digit days in Houston. The heat continues to be the big story across the mid and lower Mississippi Valley. These are extreme heat warnings from Alexandria to Memphis, Tennessee, all the way to St. Louis, Missouri. Dallas and the Arklatex up to Oklahoma City under heat advisories today. Houston, we're just under heat advisory criteria, although we're hitting 100. The humidity is not high enough to get our heat index values up to 107, 108. That's where they need to be to start issuing the heat advisory for Houston. So we've been below it, but it's certainly been hot enough for you to use all your hot weather precautions. Things are going to slowly begin to change. In fact, tomorrow we will bring in a 20% chance for a scattered thunder shower. Most of us stay dry tomorrow, but those storms that do form in the heat tomorrow afternoon could be strong. So we will be watching the radar for 1 or 2 or 3 isolated storms that are pretty feisty tomorrow late afternoon. Friday, 40% chance for more widespread scattered showers. And then for Saturday, 60%. I think that comes in the late afternoon as a cold front pushes south. Now, it's not going to get cold, but this front's going to bring a lot of relief from the heat to the upper Midwestern Great Lakes, and it's going to push a line of storms in here Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. So if you have Saturday plans, turn on notifications on the app so you get alerted in case thunderstorms come roaring in. They'll be coming in from the north, and they may bring a straight line wind threat with them as well. Current temps as it's 6:33 on a Wednesday evening in Houston. Galveston is 93. Bush still hanging on to 99. 96 at Hobby. Sugarland 97. Conroe 96. Columbus is 96. It is a hot day. Hottest we've had so far this year at Bush. Now it's 99 at Bush Intercontinental Airport. Feels like 102, which is very hot, but not as hot a feels like temperature as it could be if we had higher humidity. The humidity is not as bad as it sometimes gets this time of the year. Hobby feels like 103. Galveston feels like 105. It is a lovely beach afternoon in Galveston, but it is very hot and humid. Sugarland feels like 103. Wharton feels like 100. The radar is interesting. Nothing in Houston, Southeast Texas. Thunderstorms are absolutely raging across the state of Louisiana, and some of them have snuck into, they've snuck into the Beaumont area. So here's Beaumont, just east of Beaumont, over toward Vidor, just going across the Sabine into Louisiana. Heavy thunderstorms. That is a significant thunderstorm box they've got here. Not severe, but it's a strong thunderstorm. Those may drift down across Sabine Lake into Sabine Pass. Is any of that energy going to get in here tonight? The models say no. They've been very consistent with that. So we're not forecasting any rain for Winnie or Liberty or Mont Bellevue or Baytown or Chambers or Liberty County this evening, even though it is getting tantalizingly close if you want to be cooled off by some rain and thunder. Here is the model run, and it's been very consistent run to run the past 24, 36 hours with showers this evening, staying in Louisiana, not getting into Houston, and then things settle down overnight. Although by tomorrow morning, this is 6 a.m. Thursday morning, we start warm, humid, and muggy shower or thunder shower possible toward Lake Charles, Louisiana. That's at 6 a.m. Thursday morning. And this is the very beginning of things starting to change. We roll into noon on Thursday, high clouds, getting hot, low 90s, a shower off the Galveston coast, possible, and then we go into the afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. Isolated thunder showers pop up, and the models have been very consistent today in producing thunder showers in Houston, Harris County, and Montgomery County. It's not going to be a whole lot of thunderstorm activity tomorrow, but those storms that do form in the heat tomorrow, 99, could be quite strong with isolated strong thunderstorms, heavy downpours, street ponding where it happens. So we will be watching the radar for activity to pop up tomorrow afternoon. Not widespread, but isolated strong storms are possible tomorrow. That's the 20% rain chance on Thursday, 40% Friday, more widespread, and then Saturday, this rain and thunderstorm chance comes in late afternoon and evening, and it could bring a straight line wind threat with it, as it will be a line of storms coming in from the north. Let's take a look at the big picture. Here's tomorrow, a little bit better chance for a couple of isolated thunder showers in southeast Texas, Houston. We'll go into Friday, and by the afternoon, there we go, some scattered thunder showers blossoming in the heat of Friday afternoon. So that's a little better chance for rain, better chance toward Dallas and the Arklatex. Then the front. So it pushes into North Texas Saturday morning. This is Saturday morning. I think we just start Saturday morning hot and humid. If you've got early activities in the morning, you may get away with it. But watch when I put this in motion. This front is going to kick off a line of storms that pushes south, gets here during maximum late afternoon daytime heating, and that could bring some strong thunderstorms with it. So here we go. Put it in motion. Saturday morning starts quiet, and there's that line of storms that could be quite strong, especially the northern half, as we head into Saturday afternoon and evening. So again, turn on notifications on the app, and you will get the alerts if they fire off wherever you are across Houston and southeast Texas. Bigger picture, August 5th through August 9th. Rainfall here, normal, squeezed in between a wetter weather pattern toward the Carolinas and a drier than normal weather pattern for the desert Southwest, especially West Texas and New Mexico. Temperature outlook, we stay above normal, says NOAA, as we head into the dates of August 5th through August 9th. Well above normal New Mexico, maybe a little cooler than normal into the chimney of Idaho. All right, hurricane season. So it begins June 1st. Quite often things stay relatively quiet until we get into the middle of August, into the middle of September. So mid-August to middle September. That's where most of the hurricane activity resides. So we got a ways to go to get to the peak season. Then it slowly drops off. We get a second peak in October, then it drops off quickly into the end of October and November. As far as the outlook, we've had 3 storms already. Colorado State University thinks we may get 16 named storms total. That would be above the normal of 14 if we get there. 8 hurricanes and 3 major hurricanes. That's Cat 3 or above. That is CSU's forecast. Where are we? Andrea, Barry, and Chantal. We've had 3 weak, very short-lived tropical systems so far in the Atlantic Basin. Only 3. We're actually now running a little bit below normal as far as accumulated cyclone energy in the Atlantic Basin. But we could quickly catch up with just a couple of storms. If we go all the way to 16 named storms, that would take us all the way to Pablo. Seems like a lot of names, but again, it's quite common to be quiet until we get into mid-August, and then activity in the tropics and the Atlantic side can really ramp up and we can get a lot of storms, sometimes 2, 3, 4 out there at the same time. There's plenty of energy. Sea surface temperatures all the way to Africa are running a little bit above normal. But so far, no vigorous tropical waves and still a lot of dust. This continues to be the biggest player out here right now. A lot of dust blowing off of Africa. It dominates the Atlantic Basin. That and no vigorous tropical waves should keep things quiet for at least the next 7 days. That's what the Hurricane Center says. We'll keep a close eye on it. Thursday's numbers. We start at 77 in the morning, 92 by noon, 99, a 20% chance for an isolated thunderstorm. But as I mentioned, those few storms that pop tomorrow could be strong. The extended 40% chance for scattered thunder showers on Friday. I think the sea breeze gets active on Friday. And then Saturday, we'll watch these afternoon storms come in from the north with that front pushing south. to give us a good chance for rain and thunder Saturday afternoon and evening. Temps back to the mid-90s with a 40% rain chance on Sunday, 40% rain chance again on Monday. We'll back off a little bit going into Tuesday and Wednesday. That is where we stand, gang, with rain chances about to start going back up. Have a nice evening.